Welcome aboard. We're at the 2023 World Advanced Aerobatic Championships in beautiful Jean, Nevada. Just started up, taxiing out for Program 1, which is the free known. This is my first time at a world level aerobatic contest, first SEVA contest. Having a good look at some of the airplanes from the Canadian team. We got the blue Sukhoi that's flown by Jersey. The 300L there is XRA, it belongs to Harv's Air. Jesse Mack flying that beautiful airplane. Moments ago, I was given just the last words of encouragement from my coach, Aaron McCartan. He was our coach and manager of the 2023 Canadian Advanced team. Aaron is an active unlimited competitor, and his aerobatic resume is extremely impressive in its own right, but he dedicated a full year to preparing each and every one of us on the team, and I am so grateful for everything that he taught me. And we're just reaching the holding point on runway 20 right at Jean. The person you see there holding that big wooden paddle, that's Jeff Baker, one of the fantastic volunteers at WAC. So right now he's communicating with the judging line on the radio. So I'm just sitting here patiently, looking over my sequence card one last time, just getting the mind right. It's a big moment for me. You know, it was a lot of training, a lot of effort, time, money to get to this point. I'm really just trying to block all those thoughts out and just focus on the next 12 minutes of my life, which is doing this free known sequence. Unlike the IAC, SEVA doesn't use any holding patterns at a contest, so this really slows the pace of the contest down, but I have to say it's very nice taking off knowing that there's no other aircraft in the air and it's just you in the box, so that's really nice. So Jeff's starting to walk over, my heart rate starts to quicken, and he's telling me that it's just about go time. You can never check the canopy enough times, and I mean never. There was, I think, 2 or 3 canopies lost at this event, and mainly because people forgot to latch them before takeoff. So get ready to see a little bit of OCD regarding canopies. Lining up for the runway. Checking again. Having a good look down the runway, make sure it's clear. Checking it again. On the roll. The timer that you see now represents the 12 minutes that I have from wheels up to the final wing wag to complete my sequence. This is another difference in the SEVA format from IAC. So now that I'm airborne, I'm switching over to the box frequency, not saying anything, just waiting for the chief judge to come to me. Our order of flight was determined from these poker chips, which I thought was pretty cool. And this is the pilot board, so we could keep track of which pilot was currently in the box, as well as reminders about the official wind direction, velocity, and judging position. Right about now, I'm getting that first call from the chief judge that went something like this. Pilot 36, chief judge. Pilot 36 here. Pilot 36, you're cleared into the box, good flight. And with that, it's on. So here's the full free known sequence that I flew. This was a sequence that was developed during the summertime, and it had a few different iterations before the final version was selected. It was a really fun sequence to fly. I really enjoyed Figure 7 especially. There's just something really cool about slamming the ailerons to their stops while the airplane rolls at like 400 degrees plus per second, stopping the wings perfectly level and then pushing hard into a 5/8 loop, letting the airspeed build up like a rubber band, and then exploding with a full positive snap. I'm just about ready to dive into the box for the warm-up figures. On Program 1, a pilot is allowed to fly up to 4 figures straight from the free known sequence itself. I told myself many times, do not wag your wings. Being able to do these warm-up figures is really nice. Not only does it help you dissolve a little bit of the nerves and anxiety, but you can actually see what the wind is doing, so you better know where to place the figures in the box. Speaking of which, here's the box and the judge position for this flight. The box was finally properly marked on one of the last official practice days here, with all the additional SIVA markings like the dashes and the direction of flight arrows, which I found to be more distracting than anything, to be honest. So while I finish up these warm-up figures, I'm going to pass the microphone to Coach Aaron to give you a sense of his mindset as a trainer as he was watching me climb up and prepare for my first graded flight at WAC.
Once the canopy closes and we release the pilot, that's when the coach gets the hardest job of all. During training, I have the opportunity to help the pilot via radio in the moment. Of course, now you've just graduated them and they're off getting graded, in their own right. So now I try and get a good vantage point. I try and spectate the flight as precisely as I can, just like any other critiqued flight. We'll watch the pilot climb up, attack the warm-up figures. You can tell when the pilot's nervous. You can tell when they're a little out of position. Hopefully they can make an adjustment. And of course, we're taking notes on all of this. And then they'll climb back up, get into position, commence the actual graded portion of the flight. And for that, then I get really busy because I have to make notes on the entire performance, catch them at the end of the flight, and we need to debrief it and address any deficiencies or issues going into the next round.
Thanks, Aaron. So now that the warm-up figures are finished, I'm going to sign off and let you watch my flight of Program 1 at the World Advanced Aerobatic Championship. Alright, that's it for Program 1. Overall, I was quite happy with how I flew, despite a few minor errors along the way. Yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if you like this kind of content in the comments, and I'll see you in the next.